Alright, guys, welcome to my review of chapter 1028 of One Piece called Brachiosnakeus. Now, there's so much to unwrap with this chapter, so much that we saw, like, what caused Sanji to accelerate? Did the suit cause him to accelerate his metamorphosis, I guess people are calling it? The thing with Queen, like, how did his body even do that? But let's start with the cover quest, which is a nice homage to some Nintendo games, some fighting games. Like you can see, the Zoro with the Zelda costume was a Zelda costume. Wow, the Zoro with the Link costume was a nice little touch. Mario, Donkey Kong, great, amazing little, cover story. Not cover story, but like spreadsheet. We start the chapter off with Aegis Zero talking to an outside person, outside agency, we don't know yet, what we do later, mentioning that there's a second dragon fruit. That's not supposed to happen because there's always one fruit of each kind, right? Now, they saw it, they can confirm that it's a dragon fruit. It looks exactly the same as Kaido's. It's pink though, and they're mentioning, wow, that means that the dragon fruit that Vegapunk created was actually a success. Now, this raises questions for Vegapunk. What's going to happen? Is he going to get reprimanded? Is he going to be taken to solve it, or is he going to be told, "What? Well, you made like a bad. If it was a replica, it's a bad replica. Make more." I wonder how that's going to play into the Vegapunk story, but not right now. Let's continue on with the story. They're mentioning, is it even possible for Kaido to lose? And they're saying, not likely. That shouldn't even be a possibility right now. So they're saying good, but if Kaido loses by any chance, we have the Marines going right now. Or, yeah, we have ships going right now, which brings into question Oda's grand statement saying, this is going to be bigger. Wano is going to be bigger than Marineford. And with the confirmation that the Marines, or they're saying the ships, so in the translation, they're saying the ships are heading there. Oh wow, it's Lucci, right? So Lucci's on the phone on the transponder snail. So he's saying the ships going. We don't know if they're marine ships because we don't see the logo on them. But this gives a sense of scale. This gives goosebumps. Can this reach to a scale where it's greater than Marineford? But how would this play out? Because Luffy would be weakened in this state. They look like they're going to be close enough to Wano by the time that battle ends. But this also gives such a good grand stage for Luffy to defeat Kaido and be on the news, on the headlines, and for Morgans to get news that Luffy has actually defeated a Yonko. Okay, let's play with the idea that if the Marines or Aegis Zero, they're sending ships, who are they sending on these ships? Is it somebody we don't know? Is it Green Bull? Is it Admirals? Is it Fujitora going himself to fight? And who would they side on? Because they said if Kaido loses, just, what did they say? Well, it's going to be under direct government control, so I'm guessing they're going to raid the whole thing and take control of it while everybody's weakened. Would they be on Kaido's side? Because they're saying if Kaido loses, so would it, what's it called? Or they notice that they're trying to you notice that they're trying to maintain control of the Yonko system, not trying to get one over the other, where Luffy would succeed and be above the rest if he defeats one person single-handedly. But that's a lot of explaining. That's a lot of theory crafting and speculation, and let's just move on with the stories. And they mention, and we see who's on the other side of the transponder saying, like, it's Lucci, mentioning one more task, and that is to get Nico Robin alive. I guess just get Nico Robin. Of course, we had a feeling this would come into play, but it's happening in Wano, and we notice that the person next to Robin, Robin is already done. I'm pretty sure she can maybe defend herself a little bit or escape with enough energy, but she probably can't take another fight. She already took on Black Maria. This is not her task. Maybe her task is just to be safe. But we know that Brook is with her, and this gives the good idea that Brook is going to be the one tasked to defend Robin, which would be a pretty nice feat and task for Brook, and it cuts off from that. So my speculation would be Brook gets to have a good a good fight with the Aegis Zero. Next, we see Momo. Well, we cut to the island floating in the air with the flame clouds, and Momo's by himself, and he's freaking out because he's trying to do his best to produce some sort of flame clouds, and of course, it's not coming out. He doesn't know how to do it properly yet. He can only like grab onto the air and not produce such large scale flame clouds. And Yamato is comes up with the idea like, okay, maybe you're not gonna be able to produce them, but just try and slow it down a little bit. I'm gonna go to the dungeon, into the island, into the storage room, and I'm gonna try and remove some of the explosives. So if anything worse comes to worse, I can mitigate some of the damage caused by the island exploding. And we notice, and we get a full view of Yamato's Zoan form, and it's a beautiful mystic Zoan. Now we come to the hype part of the chapter, the Sanji versus the Queen fight. So we can get some dialogue from Sanji saying the attacks from Queen are very heavy, they're very strong. Like maybe Sanji's struggling a little bit, but it kind of showed that he was doing just fine. But as the battle progresses on, you can see the durability and, I guess lack of difficult fights is catching on, where as time progresses he's getting weaker, he's wheezing, getting tired, and he's getting knocked around again, and he's again brings up the point like my body feels weird, I'm feeling off, not off, it feels different. And Queen starts bringing up, you used the raid suit against King, you used it to block an attack, you used it before, just show me Judge's technology. And I feel like at this point Sanji is being stubborn because he doesn't like being told what to do, and this is not a character flaw. Well, I guess it would be a character flaw, but it's like his character to not like being told what to do. Because he's used it before. He's used it versus Page 1 because he wanted to hide his identity. He used it in the bathhouse, even though he had such a difficult time in saying he wasn't going to use it. He's already used it 3 times in Wano. So I don't see, the point of repeating this sequence of I don't want to use it because it's not who I am, etc. He used it to save Momo. It's very vital. It's been very vital in these instances. But again, he's just mentioning I don't want to use it, and I feel like it's just to be, stubborn. He just wants to be stubborn and not do something because he's told to. Sanji uses a nice Diablo Jambo grill shot versus Queen. Great hit. You have Queen turn into complete Zoan form. And, Sanji mentions, like, that hide is so thick. Just Queen is such a tank of a character. And I love Oda. Like, the next sequence of events is just great by Oda. Just genius. So we have Queen mentioning this is the real raw strength of the Brachiosaurus. And he goes into, like, like he's going to propel himself forward. And I don't know how Oda gets these ideas, but he just propels his vertebrae, neck, tail like a snake, ejecting himself to Sanji. And you can mention Sanji should have been seeing this coming. Sanji has observation haki. He is adamant. He's better at observation haki than everybody else, supposedly, through to the books, the data books. And he should have seen this coming. But you can say that Sanji is being, distracted by his own body. He's saying what's going on, what feels different, what's happening. That maybe he got caught off guard because of that. Plus the fact that he got caught off guard because that's such a weird attack. I was not expecting that to occur. But what I don't like here is we even get a scene where like we hear crunching in the panel, and if Sanji didn't develop these next abilities and powers, Sanji would have lost here. And I don't know how I feel about that. Is there nothing he could have done to get out of this grasp, this clutch that Queen was mentioning? Is there nothing he could have done? He would have just lost. If this didn't happen, I don't like thinking, what what would have happened if he failed, right? Because then you just go into theory. But I feel like it could have been written better, this progression, instead of basically saying he would have been defeated if this didn't happen. I don't know if I'm making much sense there. Maybe I'm just biased to the scene. Maybe it's happened, before. But also mentioning that Sanji stubbornly refuses to put on his suit to the point that he chooses to lose the fight. Well, he would have lost if he didn't develop this. So I don't like that character moment for Sanji where he should have put at least this fight above his pride. Would it be stubbornness? I feel. Well, no, it would be pride, right? I don't know how I feel about that. I just feel like he would have lost if this didn't happen. I don't know if I don't know how I feel about it yet. But Queen, the next sequence is that Queen starts yelling at his, or demonstrating what he's gonna do next, and he says this key phrase, and his suit, or I guess his suit, Brachiosaurus suit, shoots out lasers at him, not once but twice, because he starts yelling at it, and this lets his grasp go, and Sanji just falls down, and you see Sanji all mangled up. So I don't know how Sanji would have even kept fighting if he didn't, develop the iron body, iron skin like his siblings have. But we see that he starts fixing himself up and putting his body back together, and he straight up tanks a hit from Queen's sword. So no armament hockey because Queen hasn't used it yet, but just straight up tanks a swing from the sword. Now that feat feels pretty incredible depending on the sword, right? But the fact that he can tank a sword hit, break the sword with his own skin, is pretty much incredible considering he's not as good, in the books it's not as good at armament hockey, but he's good at observation hockey. So with whatever armament he adds to his iron skin, it's going to be pretty good and pretty up there in durability. I don't know if I got my thoughts across correctly on the Sanji versus Queen fight, but I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the Sanji part? Was it good for you? Do you think it's fine? But this also shows, other people were speculating, but King of Lightning was mentioning the reason why he can probably use fire, which I wanted to bring it to light, why his brother could probably use lightning. It's similar to how the minks can use lightning, but his suit enhances that, right? So maybe the brother has mink DNA, making it so he can use electricity. Maybe Sanji's was genetically modified so he has Lunarian DNA so he can create fires. He has a proficiency to fire, meaning his suit might enhance his fire abilities, and we have not seen him use fire abilities with his suit yet. All speculated. Well, this was an idea that I am just relaying from King of Lightning, which was, I think, could be on the point. But there is a break next week. Predictions for next chapter. We have a lot of content right now. We have the things with King we don't know about. Who is he? What's his species? All that. We have Queen versus Sanji. Sanji development, acceptance, finally putting the raid suit on. There's so much to Sanji's story that we could get a whole chapter with inner dialogue on Sanji versus Queen. And then we have the whole rooftop fight with Luffy versus I was gonna say King. Luffy versus Kaido, which is the main event. So I wonder what's gonna happen there. Is Big Mom gonna play a role? What's Big Mom gonna do? There's so much that I feel can be expanded on in these like 4 battles, even with Kid and Law versus Big Mom too. And then we have Marines, or the battleships, also going to the mainland Wano. So I have no idea if this is going to even get to a bigger scale than Marineford, but it is a possibility, and I can't wait to see it unfold. That's it for me, guys. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.